I'm going to say that this is WWE's biggest fumble ever. There's going to be an army of people who are going to tell me I'm an idiot. That's just how it works in today's world with the IWC. Anytime you say something that somebody doesn't agree with, they're going to come after you with a crazy amount of bullshit. But at the end of the day, I actually do think Mustafa Ali is a big fumble. And no, I'm not talking about just Vince McMahon's regime, because I feel like Vince McMahon could have done so much with Mustafa Ali. They were very close to doing something with him, and then Brock Lesnar was the guy that, for some reason, as always, he had to just ruin everything. And then Triple H's regime didn't do anything with him either. Interestingly enough, when Mustafa Ali went to NXT, he became a very big part of the show. A very big, enjoyable part of the show. I actually enjoyed watching him on NXT so much where I was like, damn, he should just stay in NXT forever. Forget about Raw, forget about SmackDown, forget about those main roster pay-per-views. Let him be the guy that captains the ship for NXT, and it would have been perfect. You know, there was a time period when Mustafa Ali was actually asking to be released. Get this, guys. Here's the hypocrisy. He asked to be released. WWE didn't grant it. Hashtag free Mustafa Ali. Trending on Twitter for several days. People saying he should go to AEW or go to TNA. He should go do this. He should go do that. WWE doesn't release him. They put him back on TV. He kills it. I didn't see any of those fucking accounts start supporting him on NXT. I didn't see that at all. Then he does eventually get released. He goes to TNA, wins the X Division Championship from Chris Sabin this past weekend. And those same accounts, they're not showing him love. They're not supporting him. He main evented a TNA PLE. And those same people who wanted him gone from WWE are not supporting him when he's out elsewhere. Hypocrisy at its finest. That's the terrible part about the IWC. Now, you could go back to my old content and you can see where I was obviously a fan of Mustafa Ali. I loved his character work. I loved his wrestling ability. And hell, I know it's kind of crazy, but I liked Retribution. So, it's funny when you go online, though, and you see people talk about this type of stuff, and then you see, obviously, where the hypocrisy lies. But yeah, I do believe this is a big, giant WWE fumble. He's going to show people why. I mean, you're seeing it right now. He's hitting the indies. He's not exclusively in one place. Mustafa Ali will be wrestling for New Japan Pro Wrestling in Chicago, which, by the way, they are selling a lot of tickets for that event, and he's going to be there. It looks like he is taking the approach of betting on himself without being exclusive to one company. And I love that approach. I love that approach a lot. I actually compare a lot of pro wrestlers to... I compare pro wrestling to the music industry a lot, actually. If you followed me for a long time, this is not the first time you've heard this. Bear with me. It's pretty simple. If you want to be a musician in 2024... you don't need to be signed to a record label. You never needed a record label, but now more than ever, you don't need a record label. You can put your music on YouTube and SoundCloud and Spotify and Apple Music, and you can do this all on your own. You can make money off of your music without anybody investing into you. You can buy a camera or use your freaking iPhone and make videos of yourself and grow by uploading on TikTok and doing all of these different things. You don't need to be signed to a recording label. I always say a recording label is kind of like getting a loan, right? You get a record deal, and it's like they give you a whole bunch of money, obviously with the turn, with, you know, like they hope to make that money back. Being a pro wrestler, you don't need to be in WWE or AEW. That is the truth. You don't need to. And the fact that there's a lot of pro wrestlers out there who they go into the indie scene and I don't see them producing content, it's actually crazy because I have talked about this so many times. I have literally talked to wrestlers in the indies and I've said, listen, like, what is your brand? What is you? If you really want to make some serious money in the business, why aren't you producing content? Why aren't you becoming a brand? What is your identity other than the fact that you do indies and you take bookings, and that's all I can see by going on your Twitter and getting your Gmail, right? You need a lot more. Because just like a wrestler or just like a musician, if you're producing content, obviously as a wrestler, you're not producing music, right? You're not making music, but you are producing content. You're dropping promos and things like that, which, by the way, you can monetize. That type of content is going to create an identity for you that is going to put you so far above everybody else that these major companies will have no other choice than to give you the bag. But here's where the comparison actually gets better. You get a record contract. They want to own your music. They want to do all of this stuff. They want to basically own you, right? And then there's people like Jade Cargill, who basically crafted this amazing persona. And now she's in WWE, and WWE has no choice but to call her Jade Cargill and to play very similar to music as to what she had in AEW. They can't change much about Jade Cargill because it's undeniable what Jade Cargill was. It didn't need enhancements. It just needed the right people or the right company behind them. And I feel like Mustafa Ali is the next guy. Look at Matt Cardona. He went to the indie route, and he's absolutely killed it. Absolutely killed it. Plus, he does podcasts and all these different things. It is very, listen, and I'm telling you right now, the best route to go if you're released from WWE is do what these guys are doing. Mustafa Ali is going to prove to everybody why he should have been a WWE champion. 100%. There's certain guys who have left. Drew McIntyre is a wonderful example as well. There's just certain people that leave, and you know when you're watching them outside of WWE, you're seeing what they're seeing. And I think WWE will come to its senses one day that they drop the ball. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Maybe you guys like it. Maybe you don't. I don't really give a shit. I truly believe that. I think Mustafa Ali is a very, very talented individual. I feel like him winning the X Division Championship is just another beautiful part in his career. It's another element to the story of his career. And keep in mind, he's going to these indie shows. He's doing his world tour. He's got a gimmick. He's got a persona. His vignettes and video packages that he's uploading are incredibly high quality. And it's going to get to the point that if AEW or WWE want him in the future, they're not getting the Mustafa Ali that you saw in WWE before. No, you're going to get the new Mustafa Ali who actually has control over his persona and the way he's perceived and his character and what it is. That's the way it should be. That's the way wrestling should be. If you're in the indie scene, just putting your Gmail out there is not enough. Do what Mustafa Ali did. Do what Drew McIntyre did. Do what Cody Rhodes did. I'm not telling you to go start another company, but Cody Rhodes did do a lot of this stuff until AEW began. And now look, all these guys with the identity. It's the ones with the identity. It's the ones with the over-the-top persona. Really good character work. They're the ones who are making money on the indies and actually maintaining relevance. WWE fumbled Mustafa Ali. I'll never take that back. I truly believe they did. And that's just the way it is.